Welcome to your ultimate pit stop, Piston Pundit. Today, we're diving into the world of electric vehicles. Recent studies suggest a shift in the wind. EV sales are decelerating and potential buyers' interest is chilling. According to J.D. Power, a mere 24% of shoppers are considering an EV purchase, a drop from last year. So, let's explore the 9 reasons why the EV market is hitting the brakes. Reason number 9, igniting fear, the impact of fire incidents on EV perception. The EV industry has been rocked by a series of fire incidents, often involving lithium-ion batteries. These accidents have ignited safety concerns and significantly influenced the buying mindset of potential EV owners. From a lithium-ion battery sparking a fatal fire in a New York e-bike shop, to a Tesla car battery spontaneously combusting on a California freeway, these incidents have raised questions about the reliability and safety of EVs. A CBS News report revealed that 52% of those unlikely to consider an EV cited problems with charging infrastructure, including the risk of fires. The lack of specific data on EV fires has further fueled buyer skepticism. These fire incidents have not only ignited fear, but also skepticism towards the safety and reliability of EVs. This has resulted in a decline in the interest of potential buyers, further slowing down the growth of the EV market. Reason number 8, the affordability of hybrids. When it comes to practicality, hybrid vehicles are a significant factor in the dwindling interest in EVs. Hybrids offer a feel-good factor as they pollute less than gas-only vehicles and are often cheaper than their gasoline counterparts. Classic hybrids, not plug-in ones, are currently the most reliable vehicles on the market. With a growth of 64% in the last year and a year-over-year growth of 70% in the first quarter, hybrids already account for 9% of the US market. Meanwhile, EV sales in the first quarter dropped by 15% compared to the previous quarter. Reason number 7, the reliability question of EVs. In the early days of EVs, experts touted various advantages over their internal combustion counterparts, one of them being reliability. However, recent years of mass EV exploitation have shown a gap between theory and practice. A recent study from Consumer Reports shows that EVs are more problematic than gas-powered cars. Most complaints are about the integration of the battery in the rest of the vehicle and software in general. Some also point out flaws in terms of build quality due to cost-cutting measures in quality control. Reason number 6, the range anxiety dilemma. Before the advent of electric cars, the term range anxiety didn't exist. Today, it's a common concern among EV owners, regardless of their vehicle's autonomy. According to the J.D. Power survey, these concerns are the biggest among those who drive more miles each day. Only 24% of those who commute 46 to 60 minutes each day say they're very likely to consider an EV. That's a massive 13% drop from last year. Most EVs accessible to average drivers still can't cover more than 300 miles on a single charge, and the charging rates aren't particularly impressive either. Real-world autonomy is an even bigger problem because despite the claimed range, things in reality are significantly different. EVs in the range are prone to all kinds of external factors that significantly decrease their range. Before we delve deeper, do us a favor and smash that like and subscribe button. This helps us reach more auto enthusiasts just like you. Now, let's shift gears and steer towards our next point. Reason number 5, the high price tag of EVs. Despite recent discounts, EVs remain pricier than their conventional counterparts. The average EV transaction last year hovered around $53,000, while gas-powered cars averaged $42,000. This price gap, although narrowing, is still daunting, particularly for Gen Z and Gen Y buyers. These groups, initially expected to be the fastest adopters, have shown a drop in interest in EVs. Now, only 24% of Gen Z and 32% of Gen Y shoppers are very likely to consider an EV, a 2% and 5% drop respectively from last year. Despite their environmental consciousness, these younger generations crave affordable transportation. The current market offerings, such as the soon-to-end Nissan Leaf production, the only EV under $30,000, and a handful of EVs between $30,000 and $40,000, don't quite meet their needs. Unfortunately, the EV market is dominated by more expensive models. Reason number 4, the charging infrastructure challenge. Skepticism towards electric cars is on the rise, with 52% of those unlikely to consider an EV citing charging infrastructure issues, a 3% increase from last year. Clean Technica reports that 70% of those who revert to internal combustion engine cars do so due to charging concerns. Even in developed regions like California, EV owners bemoan the scarcity and reliability of fast chargers. In fact, 1 in 5 charging attempts in the San Francisco Bay Area failed last year. The situation is even more dire in less developed areas across America, where EV owners often travel long distances to reach a public charger. And while home charging is an option for some, a significant number of U.S. citizens live in apartments or lack a garage, making this solution impractical. Reason number 3, the hidden running costs of EVs. Contrary to popular belief, EVs aren't necessarily cheaper to run than most ICE cars. Yes, charging at home can be cost-effective, but it typically adds only 30 to 40 miles overnight. This forces EV owners to rely heavily on public chargers, which are far from cheap and can even exceed the cost of gasoline. But the expenses don't stop there. Insurance premiums for EVs are notably higher, and in the event of an accident, repair costs can skyrocket due to their specific features and the scarcity of trained personnel. Add to this the high interest rates and inflation, and the cost of owning an EV starts to add up. Meanwhile, fuel prices have been decreasing, providing little incentive for drivers to switch from their trusty gas-powered vehicles. Reason number 2, EVs as secondary vehicles. A glance at the J.D. Power survey reveals that 68% of shoppers seeking an additional vehicle are likely to consider an EV. However, for those seeking a primary vehicle, interest wanes, with only 47% likely to consider an EV. This suggests that EVs are often viewed as secondary vehicles, primarily purchased by affluent households. This trend fueled the initial rapid growth of EVs, but as early adopters dwindle, growth has slowed. EV manufacturers are struggling to meet the needs of the middle class, who desire an EV under $50,000, capable of over 300 miles, and recharging in 20 minutes. Unfortunately, only one EV on the market currently meets these criteria. Reason number 1, the fear of rapid technological advancements and buyer's remorse. The EV industry is characterized by rapid technological advancements, which, while exciting, also bring about the fear of buyer's remorse. This fear is causing some potential buyers to postpone their plans to purchase an EV, contributing to the cooling of interest in EVs and slowing down the growth of the EV market. In conclusion, while the rapid pace of technological advancement in the EV industry is driving progress, it is also contributing to buyer's remorse and affecting the buying mindset of potential EV owners. Manufacturers need to find ways to reassure buyers about the longevity of their products and offer upgrade paths for existing owners. Thanks for joining us on this journey through the world of EVs. Don't forget to subscribe to Piston Pundit to stay updated on the latest vehicle updates and upcoming videos. See you next time.